We're going to start this hour in New York, where in the last half an hour, a man has set himself on fire close to the courthouse where the criminal trial of Donald Trump will begin its opening arguments next week. We saw pictures of paramedics taking someone away on a stretcher. There was a lot of smoke. And then reports started to come in from news agencies that a man had set himself on fire. Jury selection has been going on, alternate jury selection has been going on today for that Donald Trump trial. Well, let's speak now to our North America correspondent, Neda Tawfik. And Neda, I believe that you actually witnessed this happening, which must have been very disturbing indeed.
Yes, a very distressing few moments, as you can imagine, Anita. We, the press here, were gathered outside. We had just gotten word that a full jury, the alternates, had been selected in Donald Trump's trial. And then all of a sudden, we heard a pop, saw somebody coming into the park, a young man. He doused himself in lighter fluid and set himself on fire. Just before that, he flew colored pamphlets into the air. And as you can imagine, people here just started screaming. Someone we heard scream, "Don't do it." Others started screaming for a fire extinguisher. And just to give you a sense, we are actually barricaded off a little bit from the park. The kind of two entrances that are closest to us are locked off. And so to enter the park, you have to kind of walk some ways around from the back. So while there is a large police presence here, it did take them a few moments to get to that man who had set himself on fire. He immediately fell to the ground. His body was badly burned when eventually he was taken away in a stretcher. And as you can imagine, just the amount of police just all descended onto this park. It was completely locked off. We weren't able to get a very close look at all of the pamphlets that were thrown, so his motive is still unclear. We are trying to get some answers from authorities, but an incredibly distressing and jarring few moments for everyone who was down here, including us, as we witnessed that happen.
Absolutely, Neda. And of course, the reason that you were there in the first place was to report on this later stage in the Donald Trump criminal trial, which was the selection of those alternate jurors.
That's exactly right. And, again, I cannot emphasize enough that we still do not have a motive for why this man did this. I would note that this is obviously a place where there is a lot of press gathered. There's a lot of attention. So to just be very clear about the fact that there is no motive yet that we can kind of report. But behind me, what we were here to cover was this kind of final process, day 4 in Donald Trump's hush money trial, and the judge had sworn in the remaining 5 alternate jurors who will not necessarily be in part of deliberations, but they will hear this entire case. They have to be just as impartial and fair and go through that same rigorous process as the other jurors who were sworn in yesterday. And what that means is that this trial is on pace to begin with opening statements on Monday. I can certainly tell you, kind of based on what has happened here today, we are all preparing for perhaps security to get even tighter than it has already been around this area. And certainly, the press and security situation has been tight already, but expected to grow even more so now.
Neda, thank you very much. Neda Tawfik there.